Um, yeah, well, I lived here since my childhood. This is our first house ever with my parents. And stayed here till I was 19. I had my teenage years here and got my first piano here, everything that made me to be what I am now. I'd say began in this house. There's always been music around, you know. Even before I started thinking about being a musician. But I mean, if you have a radio, you know, there's always music and you always pick up songs that you like. I mean, my father is a jazz fan and he always played music, especially jazz. My mother loves classical music and some pop music. I mean, they are music lovers basically, and they introduced me to music. I mean, it was, I think, around 90, 91, that's when, you know, the exiles, some of the exiles started coming back, especially musicians. And I met Abdullah Ibrahim around the same time. I met Keifa Sminya around the same time, and finally Brahu. But one day he called me for a little meeting, and apparently he had been listening, you know. So he said he's starting a band, Le Rapo, and he had some gigs around town in Botswana and so forth. And so we got together, and you know, and I mean, I couldn't say no because this was a lifetime opportunity. So I grabbed it, and I learned a lot from him. And I mean, after these gigs around South Africa, we went on a tour in the States, and that was for about 3 months, and it almost covered the whole of the States. You know, I had never done so much traveling. And then I started to get the feeling of what, you know, being a musician and touring, it's all about. I met a lot of musicians. Met my Koiten at one festival, which was a thrill.
Fuba then was just next to Kipis. I used to hear this piano, you know, the scales, blah, 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 you know. And then one day I walked in, you know, because this piano sounded like, you know, some kind of McCoy Tyne, Herbie Hancock kind of sound, you know, solos, you know. And I was surprised to see a young man, young boy, you know, playing these things. And I was like, wow, who are you?
Here in South Africa, we always feel we have to be like somebody else, you know. We don't really allow ourselves to be who we really are. A balance that will help my music, you know. That will be, if I find myself spiritual, find myself musical, but I think the other way around won't be the same, you know. So I take the search to find myself first.